Major red flag that you shouldn't ignore in a woman. Welcome back, guys, to my channel once again. For those watching for the first time, I'm so humbled to always have you on my channel. And please get subscribe, comment, and like the video, and turn on the notification button to always be notified whenever I upload a new video. My dear people, let it not take so long. Let's just dive in today's topic: major red flags that you shouldn't ignore in a woman, my dear men. Number one on my list is excessive jealousy. Though a little bit of jealousy is always normal, but when it comes to excessiveness, whenever anything gets to being so much, it turns out to be so bad. Or it's like spoiling. So if you have a woman like she's so much jealousy, like to the extent of her being so wanting to always be updated on your way, on her, like on what you're doing, where you are at the moment. She always needs updates about you, to the extent that she even goes further to check your phone to see who you talk to, like the people you surround with. That kind of jealousy to, and she ends up maybe accusing you of cheating. I mean, you should always be so careful with such kind of a woman. It's always an indicator that this person is so insecure and also has trust issues. She doesn't trust you. That's why she's being so jealousy and end up doing such. So you always don't have to avoid such kind of a red flag in a woman. Number two is manipulative behavior. I mean, you always have to be so careful whenever your woman gets to have whenever a woman gets to have that manipulative behavior where she makes you do things on condition, maybe uses love or affection or intimacy to make you do things that she wants without you willingly wanting to do them. You just always have to be so careful. Don't ignore such kind of a red flag where a woman is so manipulative. She uses things to manipulate you to make you do certain things that she wants to be done. Number three on my list on the major red flags that you shouldn't ignore or avoid in a woman is lack of empathy. My dear men, this is always, or it's one of the major red flags that you should always not ignore in a woman. A person who not try to understand you, because empathy is all about understanding your partners, understanding their point of view, understanding how they see things, how they handle situations, try to understand their ways of doing things. But if your partner lacks empathy, or you always feel unheard or ignored every time, she doesn't want to try to understand you in all matters, in all situations, in all your ways of doing things, how you do your things, how you handle situations. She doesn't want to try to understand them, and that always leaves you ignored or feeling unheard or not respected. So if your partner lacks empathy, you always have to avoid, like you don't have to ignore such kind of a red flag where your partner lacks empathy. Number four on the major red flags that you shouldn't ignore in a woman is a controlling behavior. This is an indicator of abuse, so you always don't have to avoid such a red flag in a woman where she always has to control what you are supposed to do, or she's the one to give you directions on what to do, and not what to do. Like, she's the one to tell you who you meet with, decides the friends to be with. Like, such kind, it's a really an indicator of abuse. Like, it's abuse, like such kind of a controlling behavior, like always controlling what you do, doesn't allow you to do your own things how you used to do them. But maybe before getting this kind of a woman who is so controlling, and end up like losing yourself, feeling so lost, and always just in one place. If she doesn't accept you to go meet your friends, then you don't go. Like, such kind of a life. Always have to avoid such, like, you always don't have to avoid such a red flag in a woman. If you see she possesses that kind of a controlling behavior where she dictates what you do, like tries to control you, control your actions, limit your independence, always not have to avoid such kind of a red flag. Number 5 on my list is disrespecting others. Always try, my dear men, to pay close attentions or to be so keen with your women. Whenever you notice that she's so disrespectful to others, in circumstances where you may be out on a date with her, the way she handles other people around her, how she treats people in service, like disrespecting them because of what they're doing, and that's always a major concern. You always don't have to take it so light, because the way she's treating other people, maybe her family, friends, it will in the end or in one or the other turn to you. One time will also disrespect you. So you always have to be so concerned when you see that the woman you're with is so disrespectful when it comes to others, the people around her, the friends, maybe even family. Always don't have to avoid such a red flag. Number 6 is blaming others for each and everything. Always a person who doesn't take up the responsibility, a person who already doesn't accept that they are at wrong, and end up always blaming or accusing like each and everything to others. It will always show it's a sign of immaturity and lack of accountability, always failing to accept that they're at fault and take on the responsibility, maybe of apologizing or wanting to resolve the problem or resolve the fault, like where they've gone wrong. So if you are with a partner, like if you notice such kind of a red flag where your partner is always blaming or failing to be accountable of any mistake she makes, but ends up blaming others, always have to be concerned and don't have to play around or avoid such a red flag. Number 7 on my list on the major red flags that you shouldn't ignore or avoid in a woman is financial irresponsibility. When it comes to finances, it's very, very important, my dear men, to be so careful. Because when it comes to finances, whenever you have a partner or a woman who is financially irresponsible, they'll always put you down financially. So if you notice that she's financially irresponsible in a way that ends up spending recklessly without being accountable, like without her caring about how much she spends, how much she has, like just spends recklessly without being accountable, or always expects you to finance or to pay, to cater for each and everything, to cater for her lifestyle, for her expensive, luxurious things she loves, always expects you to fund her, to pay all the bills. always have to be so careful and don't ignore such kind of a red flag. It's very important whenever it comes to finances to have someone who is financially responsible, who will always be careful and mind of how much she spends, how much she has, so that she doesn't exceed the budget or spend beyond what she can afford. So if you always notice such kind of a red flag where your partner is financially irresponsible, always have to be careful, my dear man. Lastly on my list, on the major red flags that you shouldn't ignore in a woman is excessive criticism. My dear man, why when it comes to criticism, like if you have a partner who is always criticizing you, who doesn't get to encourage you, but rather than putting you down, belittling each and everything of yours, be it the things you do, your achievements, she doesn't value them, she doesn't appreciate each and everything rather than putting you down, or is making you feel small in what you do, or making you feel as if you don't, like you don't match their maybe lifestyle or match their expectations, always putting what you do down, and that always take you back, will slow your growth over mentally, physically, like in everything that you do, that will always slow down your growth whenever you have a partner who is always criticizing you on each and everything, who doesn't make you feel valued and appreciated in what you do, who doesn't encourage you to achieve more, but rather than putting you down. So you always don't have to ignore such kind of a red flag. That's all I had for you in this video. But it's always very important to always pay attention to these red flags early enough in order to avoid toxic and unhealthy relationship. If you want to have a long-term relationship, always don't ignore such kind of red flags. Always take good actions, and if you really want to have healthy, peaceful relationship and long term, always have to take note and pay good attention to those red flags. That's all I have for you in this video. See you in the next one. Comment, subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.